Welcome to episode 37 of the Cheers to Comics podcast. I'm your host, Brian Wayne, and I'll be going over all of the books that were released on the 26th of June 2019, as well as talking about everything else relevant to the world of comic books. So, full disclosure, this is a spoiler-filled podcast, and there will be lots of cursing, so make sure you're cool with all that. Grab yourself a drink, and let's talk comic books. This week is actually a little special because Zack from IAreZack from the YouTubes. You guys remember Zack from the last podcast we did with the first ever edition of Comic Book Therapy. And yeah, so he's back.
I'm back.
And specifically to talk about one book in particular in the overview section, but you'll probably know what that is once we get to it because there'll probably be more talking on your end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much just a listener for right now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, feel free to, if you have any questions or anything like that, I'm more than happy to fill you in, so butt in whenever you want, man.
Will do.
For the old listeners, you guys know that usually at this point I talk news, but I couldn't really find anything worth mentioning without feeling like it was wasting your time. Most of the stuff that I found to be news was just stuff that I'll explain later on throughout the podcast, so here we go. We're going to start with some indies, as we usually do. IDW, we have Canto, number 1. Now, Canto is by David M. Booher, Drew Zucker, and Victoria Estone. Covered by Zucker and Stone. So, a very intriguing number 1 issue. It's kind of an all-ages type of story that I think anyone could really get into. Essentially, it's these little people, and they're slaves in a world called Arcana, and they look like little knights or something like that. I don't know what they are. They're definitely not people, but they're in the slave world, and all they know is slavery, and at birth their hearts are replaced with clocks, and they're all given a set lifespan. And it follows this one clock character in particular, and somebody that he loves is dying, and he says, well, just take my clock instead. And they say, well, that's not how it works. Your clocks are programmed to each individual. And so the only way there is to save this person is to actually go get the original heart. And in order to do that, they have to go to the government people and sneak in there, and yeah, that seems to be the mission. So I found it to be pretty intriguing. It's sold out in most stores, and I think it's going to catch on. IDW, killing it. Something that you check out, man.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Dude, it is pretty cool. The art's fucking amazing, too, man.
Is it like more fantasy or sci-fi?
It is. It kind of reminds me, I don't know, I just get a video game vibe out of it for some reason. That's what it feels like to me, is a video game.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it would be like one of the more popular indie games to out right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I dig it. And it sounds like it'd be something from the Nintendo world, so that's what it really... it feels like Kingdom Hearts without familiar characters. Is kind of what I get the vibe. So, yeah, I don't know. Cool. I dig it. More indies from Albatross Funny Books. We got the Goon, number 3, Eric Powell, Rachel Cohen helping out with the art in places. Got the Eric Powell cover as well. So the Goon, are you familiar with the Goon at all?
I know of Goon. I haven't really read Goon.
Goon caught me by surprise. I can't believe how good the Goon actually is. I read the first issue, and I will admit the first issue, because I wasn't familiar with the world of the Goon, I was very confused. I was like, what the fuck is... I don't get it. But then I read the second issue with Vinny Nosferatu being introduced, and it was around the same time that they confirmed that there will be a TV series of some sort, or a movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie. And Vinny Nosferatu is going to be, rumored to be the villain.
Yeah.
And issue 2 of this run was the first appearance of Vinny Nosferatu. So for speculators' sake, I picked it up, and I thought, well, what the fuck, I'll just read it too. And I loved it, man. It was so good. It was so good. And then the third issue, this particular issue this week, it gives the origin of Seti the Southside Mummy. And really what it comes down to, it's a cursed mummy. We don't need to give the origin of a mummy. But so much as the person that it's haunting. And we've got this scientist, explorer dude, he finds the casket, and whoever finds this casket is forever cursed by Seti, I want to call him Seti the Yeti. It's Seti the Mummy, the Southside Mummy. And his curse is whatever you're not allowed to enjoy anything you love. So anything you love. So all the food that you've ever loved, you'll never get to enjoy, because as soon as you go to enjoy that, he'll rip it from your face, tear out your tongue, whatever it is. So he's stuck eating pickled chicken livers and stuff like that. Well, this doctor over time develops a gambling addiction, falls in with some bad motherfuckers, and he doesn't have the money to pay. He says, well, what if I hear the goon's back in town, what if I took some shit off your hands? I know how to take out the goon. So he utters the word around the mummy, I love the goon. So now the goon, or now Seti the Southside Mummy is after the goon, and you could just imagine.
Yeah.
Dude, it's it's funny, it's great, but there's so many the dark humor in this. They talk about hobo stew. Are you familiar with what hobo stew is?
No,
It's
I'm
cat. It's alley cat. There's actually a whole sequence in there where they're talking about because they're all homeless motherfuckers and shit. And you got these alley kids, and they got this box of kittens that they were supposedly paid to kill, and Frankie is saying, well, why would you do that when it's a perfectly good batch of hobo stew I could get 10 cents a bowl for? Like, that's the type of humor that's in this book. It's
awesome, though.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I need to get into more indie comics.
I suggest, I really think that's where, I love my superhero books, man, but you're not going to get anything out of this in a fucking Marvel book or even a DC book. You wouldn't even get this in a Black Label book. DC would never talk about boiling kitties for fucking, no, I don't think so.
No, DC, so. What's wrong with you?
I know, come on, get it together. One more indie I want to talk about, I'm super fucking excited about, actually, because this is a book that I never really get to cover. Because I usually can't find anything relevant for me to talk about without sounding like an idiot. And it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, number 40. Ryan Parrott, Daniel De Nicololo, Walter Bustamante, covered by Jamal Campbell. Fuck, man, this is a real Power Rangers book. And without going into too much detail, we've got 3 Rangers that are out doing their own thing. Zack, Jason, and Trini are all off in some unknown place it's essentially they're trying to be Peace Corps type of people, since the grid is all put back together now. There's really a lot going on. It's setting up a major thing. Tommy's back, but now he's the White Ranger, so that's a whole thing. Rita Repulsa is no longer a thing. She's been banished by Lord Zed, who now has Finster and Babu and Goldar and all of them motherfuckers under his command. So the whole Power Rangers universe has changed. We got 3 new characters in here playing the Yellow, the Black, and the Red Ranger. So yeah, it was a very, very fun book, and the best part about, as good as the whole inside of the book was, the best part I'll actually talk about in the wall book section, because it's super fucking cool. That's all I've got for indies, actually. We're gonna move more into your realm now, DC Comics.
All right.
Did you read Detective Comics at all?
I haven't read Detective Comics yet.
No?
No.
Detective Comics is awesome. I love the whole Arkham Knight storyline, all of that. It was great. So now we're starting a new arc with number 1006, Peter J. Tomasi, Brian Holtz? Ramon. Oh, sorry. I forgot his first name. Kyle Holtz, that's what it is. And David Barone. And Kyle Holtz also did the cover. So really what this book is just introducing, what's his name, Spectre?
Oh, yeah.
Spectre. You familiar with Spectre?
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I thought it was maybe not the strongest issue of Detective Comics I've read, because I don't know. I'm not really familiar with Spectre a whole lot, but it's he's a cult leader, and everything he said was contradictory, and it was on purpose. That was part of the story. What was it saying? He kept saying the host must die, long live the host, throughout the whole book. So, and they never explain it other than the fact that they're saying, well, I'm a cult leader.
Maybe they're setting up for like a parasite type thing.
I don't know.
Maybe the host isn't necessarily the host.
I don't know. It's weird because he kind of comes at Batman with this "I need your help" type of thing,
Yeah.
and he takes it because so and so's going down, and he goes and he sees this dead guy in the alley, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did that. I need your help." And he's like, "But you can't."
It's like, what?
What? And it was a weird story. I'm not gonna lie, but
Well, I mean, like, I've never read anything bad by Peter J. Tomasi, so...
no, it wasn't bad by
Yeah.
any means, but compared to the Arkham Knight story,
Yeah.
something that I really, really fucking enjoyed.
So,
It was, I mean,
hopefully it's just a slow start, not a bad arc.
I would imagine it's just a slow start.
Yeah.
I dig it. Batman Beyond, number 33.
I've been wanting to get into Batman Beyond so
Dude,
bad.
start at issue 24, where I
24?
jumped on, and it's the perfect spot. Because Batman Beyond, at issue 24, you're getting nothing but familiar characters in an unfamiliar environment.
Yeah.
So it's not something too wrenching for a new reader.
Yeah.
And then they slowly transition it into, okay, this is what it is now.
Yeah.
So, it's just the perfect... It's right after the annual, pretty much.
Okay.
So they're the second annual. Batman Beyond has been incredible. So it was Dan Jurgens, Rick Leonardi, Andy Parks, and Chris Sotomayor. And Chris Samney and Matthew Wilson also did the cover as well. I could not actually find cover A. I think it was a low print run. Ordered it, but for whatever reason, they just didn't get enough. So I did get cover B on the other hand, which we will talk about in the wall book section. But really what this is the second or third issue to a new arc. And oh man, there's just so much amazingness about this. It starts out with Terry still trying to figure out how to beat Split, and Split is this single character that can divide into two people, and it's really, really fast, and he just has Batman just has no idea how to beat him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bruce is watching Batman just get the shit kicked out of him, and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go fucking gamble and get bitches instead. And everyone's like, what? Hold on, that's not Bruce, is it? He's weird. He's weird. He went to Arkham and he came back and he's weird now. And while he's out gambling, he wants to take this chick home, and he's like, you know what, I want any guests here. Alfred is pretty much his Jarvis, and you know what, I would like our house guests to be booted out, erase their entrance or their code clearances and all of that shit. They gotta go. So it's Robin is at the Batcave watching Batman get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
And Batman's love interest, what's her name? Melanie. She's there with Matt, and they're the ones that get booted out. And then, so Matt says to Batman, look, we just got kicked out. Batman says, you know, I'm going to fuck with Split in just a minute. I got to go back and figure some shit out, you know. And then he hears, wait, hold on, Bruce is coming back to the Batcave with a girl? What the fuck is going on here? That's when they realize, okay, something's up. And Batman and Bruce pretty much arrive at the same time. Bruce just shoots Batman with some sort of cannon type of gun, and they get into a little scuffle. And then the next time you see them, you realize, you don't see Bruce anymore. You see Batman with Robin, and then you see Melanie at Arkham. She's trying to figure out if there's any connection between Bruce coming back. And then they go to the cell where Bruce visited, and this guy comes out, and you can't see, he's completely straitjacketed, mask and everything, and they take off the mask. Oh shit, there's Bruce. So the character that's involved in all this, the person that's out being dickhead Bruce, what's his name? It's Falseface. You ever heard of Falseface?
I haven't. I was suspecting Hush originally, honestly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Falseface. So this is a new character. I'm guessing. These guys seem to know who they are, at least. I'm new to being Batman, or a Batman Beyond reader, so maybe this is something that I'm just not aware of.
Yeah.
But, so the big key to Falseface is if he takes your face, you have no recent memory of anything, so people are going, who am I?
Yeah.
And, so that's makes things a little more difficult to figure out. Yeah, no, this is just a really cool concept to a new story and a new villain, and it's been a fun arc, and I like the fact that, we got this dickhead Bruce Wayne running around. Just
definitely not the first time.
Being a billionaire gangster, I mean, I dig it. Batman Beyond's been incredible, man.
Yeah, I have the first volume. I really want to start reading it. Just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's...
I liked the show a lot when I was younger.
I watch it all the time still.
Yeah.
I watch it all the time. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember False Face being a thing.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't. This could be a minor key issue. You never know. So this next book, I know, it's kind of why you're here. Almost entirely why you're here. I know that you said, I mean, the timing was just perfect with you coming on the last podcast and then this book being the next week and all. So Batman Damned #3. Brian Azzarello, Lee Bermejo. What'd you think, man? I know you just picked it up yesterday. What'd you think?
Well, first off, I reread the whole thing today.
Okay.
So I read it from 1 to 3 all today, over again, and I'm not too big of a fan of it.
Yeah.
It's especially after the second book, going to the third book, because it ends with the Harley Quinn stuff and it picks up and it never mentions the Harley Quinn stuff again.
Well, I think that's all gonna come together. This is all actually going to be a continuation of his story. I think this is just going to be an arc, to be honest. I don't... Yeah, I do. Based off of that last page and all, and the solicitations for there being a Joker Harley Black Label book in the works.
Yeah.
But...
that'd be great.
But as far as storytelling going through this way, I can understand your gripes.
Yeah.
Because as I read this, first of all, there was, 7 weeks in between issues or something like that? Yeah. Way too long.
Yeah.
So when I first started reading, I was like... Fuck, what is this story even about again? I forgot.
Yeah. That's exactly why I went through and reread the whole thing together today.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to forget anything from the first issue, so I just read it all through, try to make sense of it, and it just like I love the art. The art was great.
Oh, every single page is.
He got like Constantine's voice down. Like every time I think of Constantine, this is how I think Constantine should be. Recently, they've had an issue of making Constantine too magic-y, and this is coming from my roommate Jagger, who loves Constantine. He says he's too into the magic world and not into the religious world enough, because originally Constantine was supposed to be like angels and demons and stuff like that, and now they're just making him just go around doing magic nonstop. And so in Damned, it's way more like old Constantine, and I do like that.
Well, especially with the major spoiler at the end, realizing that it's all hell for Batman. That's this is like a 60-page book or something like that, 50 page. Through the majority of the first part, I couldn't figure out why, and then I was happy with the conclusion. I will say I thought the end was oh shit. And, essentially Batman was dead from the knife wound the whole time. He's been dead the whole time.
I thought that was open to interpretation.
That's how I took it as Batman was dead the whole time.
So, I took it as they wanted to leave it up for interpretation, but I didn't think he's going to be dead. I think it's going to pick up for like a Batman, like a Joker Damned or something like that. And it's going to be a second story from the Joker's point of view. And it's going to tell the Joker's point of view, and it's going to fill in some things that we don't know. Because it also ended with, Joker walking out of the river alive. So I think that we're going to get a second story, like a Batman Damned 2 or like a Joker Damned.
That's it. No, that's an intriguing concept for sure. I look at it as, even if they just wrapped it up from there and just went into continuity to where they just, followed Joker and Harley and all that shit now and just take Batman out of the Damned universe, I actually think is kind of a ballsy move that I would really, really respect.
Yeah.
That's saying, look, we don't need Batman to write an interesting DC story.
Yeah.
And I like the concept of a Gotham City with a Joker and no Batman.
Yeah.
I think that was the darkest part about it. That's why I think my brain went to, Batman died from that knife wound in the very beginning. And the one thing I didn't understand was at the end, he says, I wish Joker, or he was still alive. Yeah. And then he just whisked away.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know if Joker wasn't dead the whole time, or while in hell, he was able to, I guess, not suffer in hell anymore by repenting, killing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part I'm still trying to interpret.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of stuff in there. Like why was Enchantress there?
That part, see, that's the part I was like, this is all a waste of pages. This
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Bermejo's killing this Enchantress design.
Yeah.
Because it was so different that I had to, I mean, if it wasn't for, I mean, knowing Enchantress a little bit, no one would ever know that that's Enchantress.
Yeah, I definitely love the look of Enchantress, but at the same time, it's like there was no reason that she needed to be there.
And Swamp Thing, I mean, beyond him rising Bruce's coffin from Earth, you know, or, you know what I'm trying to say.
We have no idea why it was in there.
Because he was dead.
Yeah.
See, that's
it's all like there's it's this whole book was like a fever dream almost.
You know, but here we are talking about it.
It's true.
You know,
it's true.
I really did enjoy it. I will say that there were lots of parts throughout where I just didn't understand the dialogue. I will say that I don't think they had Swamp Thing's voice down at all. I didn't recognize Swamp Thing.
He didn't use the green once.
No.
you need to have Swamp Thing say
no, and
green.
he hated the fuck out of Constantine.
Which that is accurate.
Yeah.
For older comic books, everybody hates Constantine in the older comic books.
Oh yeah, but I felt like it was 5 pages of Swamp Thing going, Constantine bad.
Yeah.
Why are you Constantining?
Yeah.
No, it was beautiful because every page of Swamp Thing is one of my favorite comic book character designs of all time.
Did you get the
I did.
The alternate cover with Swamp Thing Batman?
The Jim Lee one?
Yeah.
I thought about it. But I actually, you know, being a Jim Lee fan, I didn't like it's not that I didn't like the damned covers he did.
Yeah.
I just couldn't justify dropping another $7.
Yeah.
I mean, I really regret not dropping his $7 on a second issue of that first one, because I had a bunch of them in my hand, and I thought, I think this is a gimmick. And then I went home and I was like, oh, that's a dick. And I went right back to the store, and they were just like shaking their head at me like, nope, they're gone. So within an hour of opening, Batman Damned sold out.
Yeah, luckily I got mine.
Yeah.
I didn't really get the chance to choose which covers I got, so I have the first one is the Jim Lee cover, the second one is the regular cover, and the third one is the Jim Lee cover. So, but I mean, I'm not in it for the collection as much for the single issues.
Yeah.
Like I'm in it just to read it.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I don't mind as much.
Yeah, no, I mean, of all the Jim Lee covers, this is definitely the most interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that Swamp Thing was going to be in this book. So I think that's a big reason why I didn't pick it up, is because I thought they were just kind of reaching there with the character design. Like so many fucking comic book cover artists do. And just say, oh, this would just be cool if this were a thing that has nothing to do with anything.
There's a tree in this. I'm going to draw a tree Batman.
Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, I opted out. I guess I do still have the opportunity to go pick up cover B. Cover A is gone.
Yeah.
But...
I just hope I hope that it does get picked up for like a second run or like a second series or something. That way there is more answers, because I didn't dislike it. I just wasn't satisfied with all the answers that we got because we didn't get many.
Yeah, no, I can understand that for sure. For sure. There's very few things that are certain in any of this. I think the only thing that's certain is the Joker's still alive.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so dark. I just love the concept of a Gotham City with the Joker just out there fucking being nasty with no Batman.
No Batman. Well, I mean, we still got the whole Bat family, so hopefully.
Yeah, but they ain't shit.
which is we didn't get any of the Bat family.
No, I appreciate that.
We didn't even get an Alfred.
Nope.
Yeah, so that kind of surprised me.
Yeah, no, I actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't like it when they try to lean on other characters in hopes that, you know, using the law of averages, well, if we put all of these familiar faces in there, someone's going to buy this book because of that one familiar face.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only reason I kept buying Heroes in Crisis, was because of Blue Beetle. So, and that was a completely unnecessary character in that whole story.
Yeah.
So, just goes to show. You've got a DC book you want to talk about that I did not read.
Flash, Flash Year 1, Part 4.
This is what, issue number 72, 73?
I don't remember.
It's 72 or 73.
73, yeah.
Joshua Williamson. Who did the art? Do you know?
I can't remember who did the art.
Okay.
No. No,
But the art has been amazing on year one, though. It's definitely been my favorite part of this arc for sure.
Yeah, they really have been killing it. I think year one in general has been killing it. I don't. Do you care if I spoil it for you?
Oh,
or
dude,
anything?
no, please.
Did
by
you?
all means.
And you read part 3, right?
I guess I missed it in my stack. Believe it, I came home with 36 comics this week, and there's still 2 that I did not get.
That's unfortunate. Well, if you read part 3 ends with Barry getting shot.
Okay.
So Barry gets shot, and he wasn't fast enough. He saved Iris, but he kind of took the bullet for her. And part 4 opens up with him trying to figure out how to survive. He said because it shows with every heartbeat, the bullet gets closer and closer to his heart, and he doesn't know how he's going to survive it. So, and this is when he learns the being able to phase through things trick. Because previously, every time he tried to phase through stuff, he would blow it up. So with this bullet rushing to his heart, he has to learn or he's going to die. So he gets the bullet out and he takes it out and throws it away. And then this is also when he learns he has the healing factor, the fast healing. And this whole time this is going on, he's in his room like dying, and Iris is like knocking on his door, just like, Barry, open up. Like, I just almost died. We gotta talk. Like, I really like you. Like, we need to be more serious about this. And he's just like, bitch, I am dying. Like, chill for a second, because he's not answering his door. And then and that's pretty much the issue. The issue is just him trying to figure this out, and then the issue ends with all of a sudden the future coming to the past.
Oh, okay.
So like year one has definitely been a little bit different than I was expecting, because I was expecting just a straight origin story, but this is kind of a continuation as well as an origin story, because the future is kind of mixing in with the past, and there's a lot of time travel going on.
That's kind of why I was a little confused starting out, because I mean, we spoke on Flash a little bit. You know my history with Flash. Very few. I'll read an arc every once in a while. I'll just pick up an arc, and I started the year one, and I couldn't figure out if this was an origin story or what. And
well, if you read Flash on a regular basis, you know that time is never consistent. So there's a lot of time travel. There's so like his main villain, Reverse Flash, so he can, his very first fight with Reverse Flash wasn't the Reverse Flash's very first fight with him. So because how time works, because he time travels around, and for Barry it's all just one set timeline, but he has villains that time travel around, and the faster he goes in the future, he can time travel in the future. So there's time travel going on all the time, and it makes sense when you learn how it works and you keep up with it. But when you're first getting into it, you're just like, what is going on? And that's also how we got New 52, is because of
Flashpoint and all that, right?
Yeah, Flash trying to time travel and save his mom. So time travel and the Flash kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So
and it does make it a little difficult for new readers to jump on, I think.
Yeah, but I do think if you're a new reader, year one starts off with a new arc, so I don't think you'd be too lost. So I think if you start off with year one and you're okay with the time travel, then you should be able to keep up with it, no problem. And you might like Flash, and you might like Joshua Williamson's writing, and you might want to go read the earlier arcs, because he has some really good early arcs as well.
So I hear, and probably stuff that I didn't read. Yeah, like I said, I really just read the Batman arc that he was going back, Batman crossover arc that he was doing. And that was, So, did you read any other DC books this week?
No, I read Spider-Man, but you said we're not talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some Marvel then. Age of Rebellion, some Star Wars, Darth Vader, Greg Pak, Ramon Box, and Stephanie, what's your name? Portrell. I was writing really fast. I read like 9 books this morning. It was power reading, man. Power reading, power writing, power noting. Covered by Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson. I was very skeptical about Greg Pak writing a Vader book. I know he's going to take on Star Wars.
Yeah. And
Greg Pak is the most roller coaster writer that I've come across. Some of his stuff I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah.
Some of his stuff just hurts my heart, because for whatever reason I was skeptical going in this, especially with Vader being my main Star Wars guy. But I'll be damned if he didn't fucking kill it on Vader. Are you a Star Wars guy at all?
I'm with movies, not the extended universe.
Okay. Well, the only extended universe that I'm aware of are Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I only read Darth Vader comics. I guess I did read Greg Pak's Jabba the Hutt comic from Age of Rebellion, but that's only because I was soured by Greg Pak the week before, and I thought I got to get this out of my mouth.
It's like, it's trash.
Give me something new, and he kind of, I mean, he didn't let me down with Jabba the Hutt, so that is, so I guess I have read stuff outside of Vader, but I read everything Vader. This was a Vader book. So Vader disobeys the governor's command. The governor goes and tattles to Palpatine and says, he didn't listen to me. Palpatine says, oh, Vader, check it out. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to fucking kill you if you don't obey every single word that the governor says from here on out. Well, the governor has it out for Vader, so Vader is the governor's bitch at this point. And he keeps sending him out on these suicide missions, and Vader just keeps coming back fucking shit up.
Yeah.
They'll send him out on a mission, and then pull back the rest of the troops and just start taking off, and then Vader will make his way back, and like, what do you need, my lord? Just completely, he's obeying Palpatine.
Yeah.
Well, he sends him out, the governor sends him out on a mission. He says, I want you to kill the biggest threat that you see out there. Well, following his word to a T, he takes what the governor would presume to be the biggest threat. It's this giant space kaiju motherfucker just out there eating planets and shit. And Vader lures it back to the governor, and the governor gets word that the creature's still out there. And then Vader's ship docks, and it's dark, and all you see is the lightsaber. And you're thinking, oh, fuck. So Vader's getting ready to strike, and he says, well, I thought I said that, I wanted you to kill the biggest threat. And Vader's like, oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. And then the big giant monster shows up, and he just kind of steps to the side, and he allows the big giant monster to kill the governor. That was the biggest threat.
Yeah.
And then you hear Palpatine going, you have learned, my child. So that was Palpatine's plan the whole time. He was actually punishing the governor for trying to make Vader his bitch. This is a Vader book, man. I thought it was cool as fuck. It was. See, Greg Pak back. Greg Pak back. I don't know.
Vader is the coolest Star Wars character.
Oh, he's by far the coolest.
I might give this a try, actually.
You should. You really should. I can't wait for. There's been every Vader creator. I started reading Charles Soule's run. I read all 25 issues. And every single one of those 25 issues was fucking spectacular.
Okay.
There's a reason why I have issue 1 framed on my wall. It's fucking amazing. I did. Yeah, no, it's still up there. And then, all 25 issues. And then Dennis Hopeless did Vader Dark Visions, where he essentially turned Vader into a questionable anti-hero type of character.
Okay.
And that was just some of the coolest storytelling. It was just so unique in its way of telling a Vader story.
Yeah.
Especially kind of making him seem like he's not such a bad guy, which someone that would claim to be a gray Jedi if given the chance.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the grayest you'll ever see Darth Vader. It's pretty cool. And then now this is one shot, so I'm curious to see what happens with Vader from here on out.
Oh, it sounds like they're going to make him evil again.
Oh yeah, no,
Sounds
that Dark Visions thing was like a what if story for sure, but it was cool. Oh, it's time to wrap up War of the Realms. So, have you been following War of the Realms at all?
No, not at all. It seems vastly ridiculous, or ridiculously vast, whichever one you want to go for.
Well, those two words work in both combinations to describe this event. It's been gnarly. There's been moments of disappointment. There's been moments where I thought, oh, that didn't belong in this tie-in whatsoever. But this week, I'm pretty happy with the tie-ins and how it all wrapped up. So let me just get into it. The War of the Realms Punisher miniseries is wrapping up with issue number 3. Jerry Duggan, Marcelo Ferreira, Roberto Poggi, and Rachel Rosenberg. Cover by Juan Ferreira. So Punisher is leading a bunch of patients and doctors through this tunnel with the help of a bunch of inmates. And issue 2 ended with the inmates kind of turning on him.
Yeah.
And yeah, left on a cliffhanger, and it picks up with the inmates saying, "Are you gonna kill us when we're done with all of this? We won't shoot you in the face if you promise you won't kill us when we get out of this tunnel."
Yeah.
Frankie Castle says, "No, I'm not gonna kill you. Let's just get these people through this tunnel."
Yeah.
So they get these people through this tunnel, and you kind of get this moment for a second where you really, really feel like Frank's gonna validate these inmates and give them a pass.
Yeah.
And no, he shoots him in the fucking face. He's like, "The war never ends, bitches." And
of course.
yeah, no, it's a Punisher story, so it's a quick read. There's not a lot of dialogue. It's mostly grunting and violence. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome. It's him taking out a bunch of trolls, saving a bunch of innocents.
So since I don't know War of the Realms very much, and I still have Fantastic Four and Iron Man to read, so for their tie-ins, is it gonna like stop the story halfway through whatever arc they're in, or is it gonna like kind of blend in?
Okay, so as they release these War of the Realms tie-ins, they're releasing them in no order whatsoever.
Okay.
There are issues that came out last week that take place before issue number 1 of War of the Realms. Iron Man is one of those series where they do that, where everything, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, all of those tie-ins that were released all take place before the event even starts.
Yeah.
So, oh man, the reading order for this, I hear it all the time. That's the biggest complaint I get.
Yeah.
Is people saying, "I don't know when to read stuff because none of this makes sense to me."
Yeah.
Unless you've read every single tie-in.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't know where books fit in.
So when I get to the War of the Realms tie-in for Fantastic Four, I won't have any idea what's going on for that issue because it's a War of the Realms issue.
Well, that's another one of those books that takes place. I want to say it's right after I think it's after issue number 1 of War of the Realms. It actually takes place in the same time frame as issue number 1 is happening.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't necessarily be an example of a book that you would be completely lost on.
Okay.
But there are a few books where you would be completely, like Deadpool. If you're reading Deadpool, like, what the fuck is going on right now? Why is he in Australia killing fucking trolls?
It's like, thanks for stopping the story in the middle of the arc.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's why some of these books, like The Punisher, they didn't give the Matthew Rosenberg Punisher series an ongoing, or a tie-in. They just made another Punisher title a 3-issue arc. Okay. So same thing. Uncanny X-Men did the same thing. Yeah. And I'm gonna actually talk about that here in a second. But I dug the shit out of this Punisher story. I really did. It was Marvel's been killing it with Punisher, man. If you haven't been reading Matthew Rosenberg's Punisher, it is really worth it. And they're quick reads because it's Punisher. Yeah. Oh man. He hates Zemo so much. Oh shit. Superior Spider-Man. This is one of those books where if you were reading this and not reading War of the Realms, you would be super confused on. Yeah. But I will say that for someone that has been reading, out of all of the ongoing tie-ins they've done, it is back and forth between Deadpool and Superior Spider-Man. This book was fucking incredible, man, because they brought in all types of motherfuckers. So, Christos Gage, Paco Medina. Is it Paco? I think it's Paco. Pretty sure it's Paco. Nope, it's Lan. Same thing. There's a Paco Medina out there, too. Lan Medina. I can't read my writing. Smith, Troy, and Arcienega. Covered by Mark Hathorne and Mari Hollowell. So, and the Superior Spider-Man got 2 ongoing tie-ins. And the last one essentially was him saying, maybe I should team up with some other fuckers. Yeah. He decides the people he's going to team up with, being that he's taking care of the West Coast, he's out of San Francisco. Yeah. Why not the West Coast Avengers? Well, they're all a bunch of chumps, right? Except for America Chavez, who has the power to teleport. So
Yeah.
that's really, he doesn't give a fuck about the West Coast Avengers. He just wants America for her teleporting. Because he thinks that he's going to go up to America Chavez and say, bitch, teleport me right to Malekith. I'm going to just murk him right now, all by myself. I got this. I'm Superior Spider-Man. Well, the problem is that she has a hard time teleporting when magic's involved.
Yeah.
Because comic books.
It's comic books.
So that's a problem. Well, how are we going to figure this out? Why don't we get a hold of the Fantastic Four? They're pretty smart, right? Fucking so.
On the East Coast.
Yeah. So America, teleport us to the East Coast. So we got the West Coast Avengers visiting the East Coast to meet up with the Fantastic Four on Yancey Street, along with Superior Spider-Man. That's a fucking comic book, man.
That's a lot.
That's a comic book. Fighting fucking frost giants, and they're doing all of that. And, dude, there's... So now, they figure... with the help of Reed, they figure out how to do the teleporting, and they're going through... And like I said, if you're not reading the tie-ins, you are lost as fuck. Because now they're trying to track down the Strike Force teams. Because they put out 3 Strike Force teams. So they go to the first one, and they're like, oh, no dice here. Now that, and the first place they go is Svartalfheim. I can never say that. Svartalheim. There's way too many F's in a word that isn't pronounced with an F. They go to that place, and... Yeah, no go there. Meanwhile, let's go to Jotunheim, and because Spider-Man would know some shit. Jotunheim is the Strike Force team was the land of the giants, and that's Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Captain America, and Spider-Man.
Okay.
So Superior Spider-Man's going to meet up with Peter Parker. Peter Parker gives this really cool explanation to him, saying, "Look, dude, I know you're super smart and super egotistical and all, but you're not meant for the big battle. Go down and fuck some shit up in San Francisco and kind of be a friendly neighborhood Superior Spider-Man."
Yeah.
And he was like...
He's like, well, fuck you, dude.
No, I'm not going to do that. Where's Malekith at? I got this shit. Fuck Thor, because the whole point of that Strike Force team is to go get Thor.
Yeah.
So this takes place before issue number 3 of War of the Realms.
Yeah.
Right before issue number 3. So, and here we are. Yeah, you could. This is a very good example of the point we were just talking about, where the continuity is so fucking askew. But essentially, through I forget who it is that convinces Superior Spider-Man, but it's Gwenpool. Gwenpool, because she's a West Coast Avenger. She convinces him over a long period of time and says, all right, just go fuck some shit up in your town. And that's what he does, and you get this very cool moment of him being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man helping out some random motherfuckers in the street. And it was just a really, really good book. It was. Superior Spider-Man is actually my favorite Spider-Man title. Out of all of the books, all the Spidey titles, it's been the most consistent for me.
In a dream world where I had infinite money, I would be getting all of the Spider-Man titles right now.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I have them all, but I'm not reading them all. I'm not reading the City at War. I think that's all wrapped up now. The PS4 Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, well, you didn't play the game, so I imagine you don't have any interest in that.
I'm collecting it just because I figured they would introduce something new, but I don't think there's anything new in it
which
is key.
As a comic book fan, I think you should play the game because it's one of the best Spider-Man stories I've experienced in a long time.
So I hear. I've heard great things.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've gone out on an impulse about 3 separate times to just go get a PS4 so I can get a fucking Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
But I have to go out and buy a PS4 to do it.
You can come over and play mine. You can stream it.
Yeah.
There you go. So do like a quick cheers to comics stream. Watch me play PS4 Spider-Man.
And I'll read City at War while I'm doing it. I'll be the first person to read a comic and beat Spider-Man. Avengers number 20, Legacy 720, Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness, Mark Morales, and Jason Keith. Covered by McGuinness and Val Staples. So this is a heavy She-Hulk story, actually. And essentially what it is, it starts out with She-Hulk battling versions of herself, because we've seen several versions of her. If you've been following, we know that a lot of people are really complaining about how She-Hulk is now.
Yeah.
She's big, dumb Hulk smash, not articulate.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think Marvel heard this, And I think they're retconning it right now. I do, because we get to see sexy green Jennifer Walters, and even Deadpool comes in and says, remember when you were all funny and shit way before I was funny and took that away? Maybe we should try out this again. And she's in this like simulation in her head. She's that fucking, who's putting her through it? I forget. But yeah. And then Captain Marvel has this talk with her after she's out of the simulation. And she's saying, look, we might need more than just Thor thundering out. Maybe we need Hulk fucking shit up. And it's true. We do need Hulk. And she even admits Bruce is out. They specifically say he's out in this immortal horror world right now. They practically Deadpooled that comic. It was Thor and She-Hulk are banging. So that's kind of why it would make sense for She-Hulk to also Thor out. Is kind of, I think, what they're trying to relate there. I'm not sure, but it was a She-Hulk story.
Yeah.
Playing into War of the Realms, very loosely.
Yeah.
Very loosely. I think more than anything, it's them, like I said, trying to retcon She-Hulk. By the way, kill a giant or two in the meantime. So, whatever you got to do to sell a book. I mean, it would have made sense for Jason Aaron to write a title. Well, I take that back. He did. He's writing Conan right now, and that didn't get a War of the Realms tie-in. But, yeah, that's probably for other reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, Conan is actually in the Marvel Universe now. And I thought that happened in Long Road Home 10-issue weekly. Yeah, that's a thing. So that's why he's a part of the Savage Avengers.
Maybe we'll get Arnold Schwarzenegger to play himself in the MCU now, or to play.
He's actually put it out there. He posted a picture or did a whole video of a comic book with him sitting in a throne with a sword, saying, "How cool would this be?
Yeah,
I've always wanted to do this movie. Yeah. Let's make this happen."
That'd be great.
So, but the thing I hated about that video is he's bending the fuck out of that comic as he's holding it with his big goddamn sausage muscle fingers. It drives me nuts the way he's holding the comic, because he's got the page folded over and back, and how cool would this be? I'm like, no, stop with the comic.
He's an old man. He can still murder.
Yeah. But he was actually promoting Savage Sword of Conan, not Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was. You're right. It does need to happen. It does need to happen. Conan or Arnold Schwarzenegger in the MCU.
Yep.
Why the fuck not? Thor, number 14. Jason Aaron. Not Mike Del Mundo this time. We've got Scott Hepburn filling in and Matthew Wilson as well. But Del Mundo did do the cover. Alright, so I don't know which order to talk about this book and the next book, because there's one other book in the tie-ins, and I don't know where this book fills in. Essentially, this book should have just gone in the pages of War of the Realms, because you'll find out. Let me just explain this, and as I'm going through the last book, you'll know exactly what I mean. So you got a bunch of Thors all gathering together, multiple Thors. That's the key to winning the War of the Realms. How do we know that? Well, they kind of mention it here, but then they really mention it in... I'm so confused as to how to go about telling you guys this story in two separate issues.
Say it as the same issue.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Let me just try this. So you got a bunch of Thors gathering around, and by a bunch of Thors, I mean Jane Foster, unworthy Thor. So it's all of the versions of Thor that Jason Aaron's ever written.
Yeah.
And All-Father Thor, and then Arthur. And Arthur is seen pretty much all beat the fuck up, because what he's been doing is just chilling in the sun.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to... Yeah. Because the sun is where the remains of Asgard are, and he's really hoping he could find Mjolnir in there.
Yeah.
And become worthy again. Well... the majority of this story is actually following unworthy Thor, young Thor, the Thor without a hammer, and they just keep hammering. I didn't mean to say that. They keep drilling that home that he doesn't have a hammer, and all of the other ones have a hammer. well, let's go fight Malekith. Well, Malekith now is venomized. He's not just venomized. He is the Null's symbiote. Null being the god of symbiotes.
Yeah.
He's a bit OP like a motherfucker right now. And he's going through just fucking shit up, and we get Thor's fighting Malekith, and no one really knows what happens. Freya's about to be eaten. Because not just Malekith is venomized, so is Stonehenge. Because, let me take that back. Svartal venom. Yep. That's what it says right there. Svartal venom. Svartalheim venomized.
That's
because Stonehenge is New Svartalheim. So,
because everything needs to be venomized now.
Well, when that's how you win, I guess, is with venom symbiote. I don't know. Well, the fact is, Freya's about to get eaten like a motherfucker, and unworthy Thor, Mom, I'm after you, I'm coming, and boom, he's got a hammer now. So unworthy Thor is now worthy. End of story. Okay, this is why I'm super fucking confused. So throughout this whole thing, they're saying, well, if anytime unworthy Thor gets hit, all the other Thors feel the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's how Null knows, why do I gotta fight out all of these other Thors when I could just go after the one? If I kill him, then they all die, because he's, time travel and all that. So, that's what's going on through most of this. So if young Thor, whose whole timeline is about being unworthy, suddenly becomes worthy, how does that affect all the other Thors?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I figured I would find out in this next issue of War of the Realms number 6, the wrap-up to this whole event. So let me get to that, and then we'll figure out, This, I'll actually answer now more in detail as to why there are more Thors. Why the answer is more Thors.
Yeah.
So, Malekith has Freya and Odin trapped, and there's a spell around them saying anybody that's not Thor that comes to save them will die.
Yeah.
So that's the key is, well, let's just get all of the Thors. That way we could have a whole bunch of motherfuckers coming down.
It can just save them all.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I thought it was kind of clever, I guess. But so War of the Realms number 6, Jason Aaron, Russell Dalterman, and Matthew Wilson, covered by Arthur Adams and Matthew Wilson. So like I just said, more Thors. Let's all fuck up Malekith. So these two issues are very, very combined. The thing that is very confusing to me is, in this book, they never once mentioned the fact that unworthy Thor is now worthy.
Yeah.
And what makes me even more confused is to really wrap up the big super spoiler thing to this whole thing is Arthur, while he was in the sun, he wasn't actually searching for Mjolnir, he was forging another hammer.
Yeah.
And when he goes to fight Malekith, who's now venomized, he makes it rain fire, fire being Venom's thing.
Yeah.
Well, you think, okay, that's how he's going to take him out. That's pretty cool. And he says, well, I'm not actually here for raining fire. And then, boom, you see this fucking hammer that looks just like Mjolnir that has the it's inscribed with, he who shall hold his hammer shall possess the power of Thor.
Yeah.
Did I just memorize that? Jesus Christ. I can't believe I knew that. I'm pretty sure that's what it says word for word. But, and then he picks it up and fucking Thor. So now 2 motherfucking Thors are Thor and super worthy. And, they never mention again what happens to Jane Foster. But we know it's going to happen to Jane Foster because Marvel spoiled us throughout all of these books. In the fucking solicitations. There's 2-page spreads of Jane Thor as Valkyrie #1 going on throughout all of these books. So before I got to my War of the Realms books this week, I'm like, wait a second, hold on, Jane Thor is gonna become the new Valkyrie? Come on, guy. So you fucked up.
Kind of like the whole Spider-Man Homecoming thing all over. Or I mean, Spider-Man. What's the second one called?
Far From Home.
Far From Home thing, where it's like how is he supposed to be dead when and when he has a sequel coming out?
Yeah. It's get your solicitations together, man. Your stories are good. You're just making it confusing because we don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. So really, I mean, and there was one really other cool thing. that I guess I think is cool, but at the same time, I'm not sure I respect it. So, I guess I'm in a vent for a sec. Now that the whole series is wrapped up, and as somebody that has read, I am not looking forward to counting the amount of books. I think it was close I think there were 83 issues to this story. And yes,
that is ridiculous.
I read every single one of them.
Looking forward to that omnibus.
Yeah. I won't be buying it because I won't be reading this. I mean, I guess it was a cool event. It was, but what I expected, with as drastic as this storyline seemed, was a whole bunch of deaths.
Yeah.
A lot of deaths. And the very first introduction to this story was Loki's dead. Like, that's how the whole event starts, is Loki's dead. And I'm thinking, all right, if you're going to kill off Loki immediately, I respect the shit out of that.
Like, you better have something else coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
The only deaths that happened throughout this entire book were Asgardians. All of the Valkyries died.
Yeah.
The only Valkyrie that's still alive is Angela.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess fucking Jane Foster now. Thanks. Didn't have to read it to know it. Yeah, I hate when that happens, man. Sorry, I'm a little sour about that. And the ad spread was ridiculous too. 2 pages.
Yeah.
They're actually doing 3 pages. I mean, not on the same ad, but you get the 2-page spread and you flip it over like, okay, I'm ready to the comic. Oh wait, fucking more ads. It kills me. I really think that's why we're spending $5 a book now on Marvel, is because they have to pay for their. Or, I mean, we're paying for their ad space. I don't know. That's not how it works.
They're not making any money off their ad space because they're advertising their own stuff.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So where they would put other companies' stuff and make money off of it, they're not making money because they're putting their own stuff. So now we have to pay more per comic.
I get it. Just put it in the back like the indies do, you know?
Yeah.
Just put it in the back.
Yeah.
We're going to keep flipping. We see more. We're comic book readers. There's more pages. We're going to fucking look at them.
Yeah, even if it's just black. You know, I've done it.
Yeah, I do it all the time. And you have to now because we're getting all types of fucking... with the Carnage thing happening, there's 1-page randomness spread throughout all of these Marvel books that just give a 1-page tie-in lead-in to the Carnage story coming out. So, and you have to keep flipping past the story to get to that.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to say be able to think that the reader's going to keep going for that, why not just put the... I don't know. I'm not here to talk shit. But War of the Realms, I don't know, man. It was fun. I guess the only real death that hit me was Scourge, and I didn't think I gave 2 shits about Scourge until he died, because he went out in a pretty fucking redeeming way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wanted more death. Maybe next time get Matthew Rosenberg to write an event, and he'll just kill everybody. I dig it. So that's all I really have for the major overviews. I'm gonna fly through these honorable mentions. So these are a lot of books that I gave a shot, didn't read, didn't have time for, reading in bulk. So that's really kind of the theme to the honorable mentions. So War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas, number 4. This is a Greg Pak no for me. I read issue number 1, and I don't like to keep bringing this up, but being that you don't understand my hard no on this, is issue number 1 was the most racist comic book I've ever read in my life.
From Marvel?
No, it is one of those, we're including people thing. It's an all Asian team.
Yeah. But
they strictly go on about with only Asians.
Yeah.
Not we're an all Asian. No, if you're not an Asian, you can't be one of us. Is actually, I mean, they have they rip off the Xavier's Institute of mutants.
Yeah.
And no, they're like, oh no, you can only learn at this school if you're Asian and a superhero. So from then on out, I just stopped fucking caring.
Yeah.
So the Greg Pak just pissed me off. That and all of it wasn't just more than, or it was way more than that. If you actually read the book the whole time, you're like, how the fuck does this slip through editing? Because it is just so fucking stereotypically racist. It's crazy. War of the Realms, Uncanny X-Men number 3. I didn't understand what was going on in any of this, how it played into the first 2 issues of it. I got it, but what really got to me was the art. they drew all I always say half of the panels were drawn from a distance. So, or a distance shot. So you're looking at tiny little specks with talk bubbles because, and so you don't know where the dialogue's coming from unless you know that the yellow and blue suit with the little bit of brown at the top is Wolfsbane because they're all wearing the same fucking costumes.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I just thought it was super lazy art, so it made for bad storytelling.
You would think that they would do what Justice League does, and they create the speech bubbles with color coding.
You would think the X-Men would actually have differentiating speech bubbles at this point, but that's not a thing. Maybe Hickman will change that up. Or maybe Hickman will just have artists that know how to draw the fucking characters properly.
That too.
You know, I mean, nothing against Mr. Perez there. I usually dig the art, but half of these panels were rushed as fuck.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Fantastic Four number 11. This it was a fun book. It was I really don't know what to say about it is what it comes down to. I enjoyed it. It was just it was kind of fluff. It was filler. It's definitely leading into something. More than anything. It's not a War of the Realms tie-in though. So it's they did the 2 little War of the Realms tie-ins and I think just 1 War of the Realms tie-in actually. So yeah, it was all right. Amazing Spider-Man. Number 24.
Yeah, I actually read this one.
Yeah. They we get a name, but I don't think the name's gonna stick of this character because he even goes on to say, "Oh, we'll just go with this for now until I give you my real name." And what do they go by? What's he call him? Fucking, I don't know. I don't remember what it is. I don't remember. I didn't try to remember because I don't think it's gonna stick.
Because the whole time I was trying to figure out who he really is because they're kind of insinuating that it's somebody from Peter Parker's or Spider-Man's previous life or his past.
There was a major death in it though. He did kill someone. I forgot who.
Yeah, he did. He killed. I
could open up the comic and tell you.
Mysterio.
Oh fuck! He did kill Mysterio.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
There's
like a major, but he didn't really. I think it was just he didn't kill Mysterio, but he did kill Peter Parker's dream. So Mysterio is still going to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Did I misread that?
Well, yeah, because Peter Parker woke up because it was the same thing because he dreamed that Mary Jane died in the same way.
Oh, okay, I guess so. I thought he was just laying there after just boning him or boning Mary Jane. I didn't realize he was waking up.
Yeah, he was waking up, and then you see the cover of the next one, and Mysterio's on the cover of the next one.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, he dreamed. Mysterio died. Wait, Mysterio didn't really die. The same way he dreamed that Mary Jane died. So this guy can mess with people's dreams. He can.
Oh, he's all up in his fucking brain, man.
Yeah. So
I think it's a cool character design.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of what I've been waiting for, in the Spider-Man run is just a little bit more darkness.
Yeah. Well, see, here's when Spencer took on, and I read the first 3 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. I was like, fuck yeah, it's here. And then we've got 21 issues of. Okay, this is not the same direction that it started out to be. Yeah, and now I feel like it's back.
It's like I always thought of Amazing Spider-Man before this as like light reading. Like it wasn't too serious. It was just a little campy. It was fun, but I wanted a serious arc here and there because I do like the campiness. I do like the light reading aspect of it where it feels like I'm like chewing like a friggin' 5 spearmint gum kind of almost.
Gotcha.
So. But I've been waiting for this also. I'm excited to see what happens after this. So.
Yeah. No, I think they're gonna be celebrating 2 years on the next issue, so I'm sure it's gonna be a pretty big deal. Or maybe this is the one. I don't know. I mean, I would think that 24 being 2 issues a week would be the 2 issue, but I think they're actually officially making 25 the 2 issue or the 2 year.
Their consistency in releasing hasn't always been there. So like earlier in the run, they weren't releasing two every month. They were releasing like 1 every 3 weeks and stuff like that. Because I remember I'd be expecting to get.
Oh, actually, I think the first 2 issues came out weekly, and then it spread out to 3 weeks for a minute or something like that. Yeah, I think issue 1 and issue 2 came out week to week or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I could be wrong, but
because I'd be like, when is this coming out? And I wouldn't know for sure when it would be coming out. So.
Gotcha.
But now that it's more consistent, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And I need to go back and I stopped reading Fantastic Four right before the wedding, so I need to catch up.
The wedding is where it gets good.
Really?
Once the wedding happens is when I was honestly, I'm not a Fantastic Four fan.
Yeah.
Until we got up to the wedding.
I
I was
have,
really trying. I was like, I want to be a Fantastic Four fan, and then it happened.
I still have all the issues. It's still my pull list, so I still have them all. And it's just one of those things where I was just waiting to get some more to read, so I can read it all at once.
Yeah. No, and you'll enjoy it.
It's good.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't disliking the first few issues I was reading. I like, oh, this is nice. This is cool. So I'm glad that it gets even better.
It does. It really does. Wolverine Exit Wounds. Chris Claremont, Salvador La Roca, Scott Eaton, Larry Hama, and Sam motherfucking Keith. All on this book. We got 3 different Wolverine stories, all in 3 different timelines. I'm not going to go through them all. The reason why it's in the honorable mentions is because I could probably spend a half an hour on this book. The main reason being that Sam Keith is my favorite thing to ever happen to comic books.
Oh, man.
So when he does something, I buy it. I'm still waiting on Batman Max Arkham Dreams to fucking come out, because that's the first Sam Keith we've seen in years and years and years.
Yeah.
And now we're just hanging on by a thread because the book's been delayed 2.5 months now. So I got a little bit of Sam Keith and some Wolverine.
Yeah.
And fuck, was it good. Along with Claremont writing Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal too. So I'm all in on that. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 8, Tom Taylor. This was a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man story. It's continuing from it's part 2 of the new arc with the homeless people and all of that good stuff. And yeah, it's still it was just a super quick read is all.
Yeah.
The Prowler is a big part of it. Prowler's trying to be good and team up with Spider-Man, and yeah. Doctor Strange number 15. This is one of those books that I just didn't get around to reading.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I have all the plans to, and I just found out that issue number 20 is actually going to be... Or is it this one? Maybe this is the last issue. I know that they just announced that Doctor Strange is suddenly ending. So I don't remember what I read, though. I don't remember I have 20 in my head thinking that this was issue 20, but I don't know. I'll find out. The Doctor Strange is ending.
Yeah.
So kind of sad. But it is kind of a up and down story, too. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's just really dense. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Conan the Barbarian, number 7, Jason Aaron. This is the same category. I have every intention on reading it. It was just so heavy of a week that I had to make some sacrifices for time's sake.
Yeah.
But I'm digging the fuck out of Conan the Barbarian, man. It is. I was not a Conan fan at all until Jason. Jason Aaron's also my favorite writer in all of comics.
Yeah.
So everything he does, he just makes me a fan of. So Conan, he did it with Conan too. Super fucking Conan. Action Comics, number 1012, Brian Michael Bendis, Simon Krasinski. The art was good. Simon Krasinski's amazing. I don't like this Leviathan story at all that Action Comics is doing, man. I just don't like this Leviathan story. This was fucking dense. I didn't get anything out of this book at all.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what happened at all. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it was because the art was so good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that was it though. I don't know. It was a dud for me, unfortunately. But I know that a lot of people are liking the Leviathan story.
I don't know anything about it because I know it's more Superman oriented.
Yeah.
So I haven't really messed with it because I don't read Superman.
Yeah.
Or Action Comics or any of that.
It just had a soap opera vibe to it. Is what it felt like. It felt very soap opera-y.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Rick and Morty number 51. I put Rick and Morty on my pull list at issue 50. Just because the only Rick and Morty I've ever read are all the mini stories, like Pickle Rick and Rick and Morty vs. D&D and all that shit. I never actually read the Rick and Morty comic.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it'd be very Rick and Morty-y, to be honest. And yeah, so reading the other minis, I was like, oh shit, this feels pretty fucking Rick and Morty to me.
Yeah.
So when I hit issue 50, I thought, well, maybe this book isn't going anywhere. So now I got it on my pull list. But because I haven't been reading it lately, it wasn't really a priority to read. So this is one that I'll be reading in between now and Wednesday when more comics come out. Eventually. Stitch Terror number 2. Told you all about that one. I think this is gonna be weekly, and I don't know how much time I have for weekly books to read, so I think I'm gonna just read this all in bulk now. Issue 1 pulled me in.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be what I like to call a Tuesday read, and in between podcast recording and Wednesday type of thing. Fight Club number 3 from Chuck Palahniuk, number 6. The first 3 issues were so fucking confusing in the most Chuck Palahniuk way that I just felt really stupid trying to talk about them.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I'm just gonna read this in trade. And then as soon as every other person in the world had that thought, Dark Horse came out and said, this is not a book. We're going to put it out in trade, but you're not going to understand it unless you read it in issues, because this opening page of every book will not be released in the trade. And I thought, well, who gives a fuck? Because this opening page in every book seems to make no sense to this. It's called misinformation, and it's really just it's a fake columnist that goes through, and she's just a fucking cunt to people and tells people how to be a fucking asshole in life in all these different ways. And it plays, I find it no relevancy to the story at all.
Yeah.
But I heard it, I met Palahniuk a few months ago, and I heard it from his mouth. He said, you're not going to understand this book unless you read it in issues. Oh, and the calendar is also not going to. There's a calendar in every issue, too. So the calendar is going to play a big part in telling the story, and that's not going to be in the trade.
Why would they do that? That makes no sense.
Because that's how you make double the money. I don't know. Why would you even put out the trade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
To go back and make people hunt for books. But it's not going to be hard because I don't think anybody's buying the book. So, I don't mean to be a dick, but if I weren't so intrigued with the Fight Club universe, I wouldn't. After issue 2, I would have fucking tapped out too.
Yeah.
Because it's just too confusing. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I haven't even read Fight Club 2. I need to read that.
Yeah, I need to reread it. Well, the reason why I felt so into Fight Club 3 is because Fight Club 2 still felt like readable.
Yeah.
You could read it issue to issue and, know what's going on. But this, I'm so fucking lost, man. Maybe the last 3 issues I didn't read, helped me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give it the opportunity until I've got 12 issues to just sit down and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Spawn number 298, Road to 300. So it's a retelling of the first 295 issues of Spawn and 4 issues leading up to issue number 300. So this is just more Spawn that we all know being retold in a shorter version.
Yeah.
I'm caught up on Spawn actually, and I started reading since I did the Road to 300, and I'm also just going to read them all.
Yeah.
Before issue number. So at 299, I'm going to read 296, 97, 98, 99 all at once, and just know all of the Spawn in a day. And then just be super fucking prepared for number 300.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to go about this. And honestly, I thought it was going to be really overwhelming. McFarlane does such an amazing job of wrapping it all up. And he does this really cool thing too. I bet you even in this one, he gives a fucking glossary of all of the characters and the issues to find them in when they mention something. Go see issue number so-and-so of the first appearance of this guy and blah, blah, blah. Maybe they don't do it in this issue. Or maybe I just can't find it. I don't know. But that's what they did in the first or Spawn Road to whatever.
Yeah.
They had a whole back page of, oh yeah, when we mention this guy, you'll find him in this issue. And the storyline that we slightly mentioned here, go to this issue. And
that's crazy.
It just made it really friendly for a reader. And if there was ever a time, I'm going to keep saying this. For old listeners, I'm sorry, I keep repeating myself. There's never been a better time to be a Spawn, or get into Spawn.
Yeah.
Start at issue 295, or 296, and just fucking get at it.
And I think Scott Snyder's going to be messing with Spawn soon, too.
Oh, dude, that... Really?
He posted a bunch of Spawn issues and was just like doing the fun kind of homework.
Oh, fuck.
And so he's doing something
shit
Spawn related.
Oh, shit. I know McFarlane is so excited for everything after 300.
Yeah.
So, oh, man. And the team... I know that Snyder's not on the team for 300. And I know that McFarlane is... for the first time in a very long time, writing and drawing issue number 301.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I know about Spawn after, is I know the creative team and fucking goddamn creative team that's going into 300. And the 301 is all McFarlane. After that, that's it. So.
Is Greg Capullo going to be part of
Yes.
300? Good. He needs to be.
Yes. Yes, he is.
It's kind of hard to find Todd McFarlane just like talking about Greg Capullo, which is weird because he like studied under him.
Well, Todd McFarlane doesn't talk about anything that's not Todd McFarlane.
That's very true.
That guy fucking loves himself, man.
Too much.
So much. So much. Some DC honorable mentions. Martian Manhunter #6. This is a 12-issue miniseries, or maxi-series, I guess, involving the origin of Martian Manhunter. I read the first 2 issues, and I thought, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I read the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nuts. So this is a book that I probably should just have picked up in trade, but I can't have 3 issues of a miniseries and not have the other 9, so I am buying it in singles. And there's been some amazing Joshua Middleton variants as well, so a lot of these issues I've bought 2 of. I think 4 of the 6 issues I bought 2 of just because of the variants.
Yeah.
But, Martian Manhunter, man. Steve Orlando is just fucking weird. And Justice League Dark #12. Super roller coaster series for me. I really like Justice League Dark a lot. I love Swamp Thing quite a bit, and I love the fact that fucking Detective Chimp and Swamp Thing are like heavy buddies in this story. But I think that's the only thing I'm enjoying about this story now. Admittedly, I think I've come to realize that. I'm not a big fan of this Lords of Chaos Dr. Fate arc that's going on right now. It's because it's back and forth, and we've had this discussion with Tinian before about sometimes he could be really fucking dense.
Yeah.
And every other issue of this, he'll spend 18 pages just telling a story that he could have. Some writers could have said in 4 talk bubbles.
Yeah, it's like write a novel, dude. Like.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I will get around to it eventually. But
I just took that off my pull list. This was the last issue that I got. I haven't even read it yet.
Yeah.
Because it's.
There's no rush to read it.
Yeah, I mean it's like. It's just hard too because of how much words he put into it. You know, like I know that I could read
about characters no one cares about. That's the thing. If he was going on and on and on about Swamp Thing, that'd be fine. But he's going on and on and on about some other fucker that no one's ever heard of before. And then this person is just barely relevant, kinda. Yeah. So.
And so I know that I can read 2 other issues, maybe 3 other issues, but in time I can read 1 issue of his. So I would just rather read those issues that I could read and wait until
a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. So that's all I've got for honorable mentions. The next segment is, I guess I did, you know what? Yeah. No, I did have one other honorable mention. My bad. Magnificent Miss Marvel. See, you can't say it either. #4, Saladin Ahmed. This is a book that, I hate Miss Marvel. I do. I hate that fucking character so goddamn much. Never found a reason to like the character. It's only because of the... Well, G. Willow Wilson is just one of those writers that I can't get into.
Yeah.
Just not my writer. I know a huge fucking following, but it's not my writer. So all the Miss Marvel that I read fell under her name. So I naturally hated the character.
Yeah.
Saladin Ahmed comes along, and he writes a Miss Marvel that doesn't seem to be very divisive.
Yeah.
And, it's been a fun story. But Miss Marvel fell on a week that was like 6 inches thick.
Yeah.
So, Tuesday read. But, so I officially am done with my honorable mentions. I'm going to talk about wall books now. Wall books is all the shit that you see walking down on your way to Cerebro. This is the shit that it's just pretty, man. The first one I want to talk about is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #40. White Ranger foil cover. That thing is fucking gorgeous, dude. It's gonna go on. And it's a virgin cover too. I love the virgins. The trade dresses are nice and all, but there's a higher chance of it being on the wall if it's a virgin for sure. And shiny, Batman Beyond, the Kara Andrews cover, #33. That was I just something about Kara Andrews when she does it. I think more than anything, she, I don't know. Kare. I've never seen a picture of the fella.
Kari. I don't know.
Car? I think it's a dude. I don't know.
You say Kare?
Kaare.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It could be Carrare for all I know. I don't fucking know. Care. This artist, I actually think I'm more drawn to the backgrounds than anything. Yeah. I buy a lot of their books. Killing it with DC. I actually did a really cool 5-piece connecting variant cover for Marvel Knights, but I think I bought it for the backgrounds.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It just does really well with the backgrounds. I don't know. We got the Spawn McFarlane. Yep, didn't mean to say that. Todd McFarlane Spawn Virgin cover. It is an homage to Spider-Man 291? 291. It's 291. That's what I'm going with. Go look it up. 291. Fucking, it's so good. I think this is the, who's the introduction? I forget. Is it the first appearance of... We'll figure it out. Go look it up. The fact is, it's a fucking dope cover, and it's a Virgin cover. And Spawn, when it comes out once a month... So I love the fact that it's only a $2.99 book, but Spawn gets $10 a month out of me because I buy all of the covers.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I guess I lied this week. I did not get the black and white variant cover. But, yeah, for whatever reason. Justice League Dark number 12. Oh, man, this Swamp Thing variant. I love my Swamp Thing, man. I want to say it is... I always get I get mixed up between Lucio Perillo and Clayton Crane. That's what I'm trying to say. Clayton Crane variant.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah. One of the best Swamp Thing covers that I've seen probably all year. He's done some great Justice League variants, but it's the whole team with Swamp Thing in the background.
Yeah.
You finally get to see Swamp Thing all up in that shit, man. And it's even more relevant. I hope it sells a whole bunch of copies just because of the Swamp Thing show that's out right now. It's been so fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's why I'm really surprised you didn't grab the Batman Damned variant because of the Swamp Thing.
Yeah. Like I said, it was just one of those things like, I don't think that's going to have anything to do with it. And I didn't really... Honestly, I got only a little bit of a Swamp Thing vibe out of it. I really did. I thought it felt gimmicky to me.
I thought it looked cool. But I liked both covers. I would have been happy with either one.
Yeah. No, for sure. Detective Comics 1006. This is actually an artist that I'm not sure I'm entirely familiar with, but
I want to talk about that end part that you just showed for a second after you're done with all that.
All right, cool. Let me see if I could find this. I love how DC just throws their title pages right in the middle of their books sometimes. Just kidding. I actually hate that. Dan Quintana. So, yeah, no, this cover is incredible, man. It's just Batman. It's just Batman in this purpley hue. So yeah, you had something to say about the back page of that though?
Not just the recent DC books. I was going to ask if you read the sneak preview of the Curse of the White Knight.
No, I don't read sneak previews.
You didn't read the sneak preview?
No.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited for the Curse of the White Knight.
Yeah, the preview's good.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
I don't like sneak previews. It's just like a quick little snippet that tells you what it's going to be about. It's almost like a trailer. It's like it's so good. And then also, you know, the artwork is always great, and I think it's super impressive.
Oh, dude, Sean Gordon Murphy's amazing.
Yeah, I think Sean Gordon Murphy, and then same with Joel Jones, like how they can draw and write their own books is amazing.
Yeah, no, that's something I actually praise quite often. That's why Sam Keith is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because not only is that dude have an art style in comic books that is groundbreaking and earth-shattering. So far, the closest person I've found actually to be is, fucking just all over the place as Sam Keith is Eric Powell from the Goon. Like you flip through that book and every panel could be in a different medium. Some color pencil. Fuck it, I'm gonna do oil on this one. I'm gonna do acrylic on it. That's cool. So gangster, dude. It's so gangster. And he fucking writes his own shit.
Yeah.
He's another one. He's not just writes and I love it. I love that shit so much. Speaking of Sam Keith, there is a Wolverine Exits fucking Sam Keith variant. Just look at that cover and tell me why he's not the greatest. No one would ever say, you know what? I'm going to go to Marvel and I'm going to draw like this. And they're going to fucking like it. The only other person that's ever said that is Rob Liefeld. But the difference between Liefeld and Sam Keith, besides being everything, is that Sam Keith is incredible.
I think this would be the perfect thing to show to Marvel, the Disney Marvel, to be like, this is why we want Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
You're absolutely, holy shit, that is Danny DeVito. God damn, you're absolutely right. And that is all the more reason why Sam Keith is the greatest thing that ever happened in comics, because he just gave us Danny DeVito Wolverine.
Danny DeVito Wolverine. Buff Danny DeVito at that.
Oh my god. That's great. It's great. Oh, speaking of fucking Lee Field, I guess this was supposed to make honorable mentions and just got mixed. Oh, I guess I did have a few more honorable mentions here. Well, yeah, but we're going to end it on fucking Rob Liefield's note, though. Because I do this thing where I say his name and then I just stop talking because I don't want to give him the satisfaction. Every time someone says Rob Liefield's name, it fucking grubs a ball hair. I don't know. I just can't stand that dude. You know what, dude? I think we should talk about our favorite. You know what? I actually get to talk about top picks with somebody that also read comics this week.
Oh.
What was your favorite cover of the week?
My favorite cover of the week? Man, I didn't have many. I didn't have many books this week.
Well, not necessarily that you picked up. You got a whole fucking. There's like 40 comics. I mean, there was a lot of books that came out. Is there something that, as we were going through, just really caught your eye that you thought just a little bit harder about?
I always like Spawn.
Yeah,
Spawn's artwork is
Todd
good.
McFarlane is God. He is God. So. And
then the Batman Beyond one is also really good.
Yeah.
I do really like Jim Lee's variant on Batman Damned. When Jim Lee draws darker stuff, it really reminds me of Greg Capullo, because I've always said that Greg Capullo was like a combination of Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee. So whenever Jim Lee draws dark, he reminds me of Greg Capullo. And then I really like. I know it's not like anything that's special or even different, but I really like the Amazing Spider-Man's artwork recently.
Yeah.
The current artist draws Spider-Man always really up close and everything for his
Ryan
covers.
Otley?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just like that. It makes you feel like you're in there, like it's almost like you're part of it almost when it's super up close like that.
Well, that actually answers my next question of who is your favorite interior artist of the week. Then, so
yeah, there you go.
There we go, Ryan Otley. What about your overall just story of the week, man? Oh, hold on. You had more to say about interior?
Yeah, interior. I'd probably have to go with Batman Damned.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. I mean, that artwork is amazing. I'll just sit there and just look at the artwork. I'm like, man, this is great. Like,
it really did carry the whole story. I mean, I think if that story was illustrated in any other way, people would be rioting.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm not so happy about Bat Dick, but it's a pretty Bat Dick.
But how about that character design of Batman, though? With the,
it was
barely any fucking armor at all. He's just... I mean, it felt fucking... It felt like he just designed his first bat suit. It kind of felt like if Spider-Man designed his... he goes out with their pajamas and some knee pads and some shit and fucking... That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
But if a billionaire
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me just put this together without having any...
Yeah.
I thought it was cool as fuck, man.
It was very interesting. It was very different. I love seeing all the different artist takes on the Batman suit. Like, Sean Murphy's is also really good.
Yeah. Oh, there's some great ones, that's for sure. That's for damn sure.
But yeah, so since I didn't really read too many issues this week, that's, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Dude, if I had to pick a cover this week, I mean, there were some amazing covers, and there's probably, I'd say, 6 covers in here that any other week would easily get cover of the week.
Yeah.
But Sam Keith.
the Danny DeVito Wolverine.
That's really fucking obvious for me. The Swamp Thing is amazing.
Yeah.
The Todd McFarlane is always beautiful, but Sam Keith.
Yeah.
My interiors, it's Liebermejo, Undamned. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. And there's some great art going all throughout this week, for sure. Fucking, without even opening up Spawn, I could tell you that the art in Spawn was amazing. Yeah. Whether it was Zymer Kudansky doing it this week or Jason Sean Alexander, those are the 2 artists that are going back and forth on Spawn.
Yeah.
And their styles are so familiar, but at the same time, you can differentiate them. They're fucking perfect for Spawn, though.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, that's usually an interior artist that would take it, but... Yeah, no, Damned, we're definitely agreeing on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you have a Black Label come out I'll have to choose that one for interior because when Superman Year One comes out,
John Romita Jr.
It's gonna be that, and then when Last Man on Earth comes out, it's gonna be Greg Capullo. So it's gonna be really hard to.
Well, Black Label knows what they're doing. They only bring in prestige artists for this, so I mean that they're not gonna bring in new artists to do a Black Label book, and that's one thing I really do appreciate. They're maintaining a standard.
Yeah.
No one wants to spend $9 on a book with somebody who's never fucking done a book before.
Well, did you see that they announced their horror line in Black Label?
Slightly.
So I'm not familiar with any of those artists, but I'm not sure if that means they're new or not. So I'm not sure if that means their horror label for Black Label, their horror section for it, is going to be more their Vertigo stuff or not. So we'll find out. I'm waiting for the first Black Label failure.
I actually think that what they're this is just my speculation, but I think that what they're going to do with that Black Label line, the horror writers they're bringing in, are more horror. I mean, they come from a horror world, not a comic book world.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Joe Hill is Stephen King's son.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So yeah, no, I could respect that, but don't put him on a Batman book.
No.
Give him some new characters and whatever. Maybe at most Swamp Thing, but no, leave the shit we know alone in Black Label if we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the draw, was prestige artists in prestige format.
You gotta prove yourself first.
Exactly. My overall book of the week though was actually Superior Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, that was just so much fun, dude. It was. We had moments where it was very self-aware, and then we had a moment where, he tried to be taught a lesson.
Yeah.
And in the most superior Spider-Man fashion, says, fuck you. That's not how I roll, bro. Yeah. And it's just so true to this character. I really dig Otto, as he is my favorite Spider-Man now.
And then, based on what you said, a little bit of character development there at the end, which is always good. I'm always a big fan of character development. As long as it's the right kind of character development, doesn't make your character into a murderer. Tom King.
DC, I did see something. I guess it could be news, but I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time. DC just come out and say that Wally West will be a thing soon, and he will be important again really soon. But that was the headline. I didn't bother clicking, but
well, if you see it again, send it over to me.
All right, I will.
So that I can put my pitchfork down. Leave Wally alone.
yeah, you and a bunch of other Flash fans for sure. Well, man, dude, I'm glad that you got to spend some time talking. This actually didn't run as long as I thought it would. So.
It's good.
Hell yeah, man. I kind of like having somebody to talk about comics. I mean, we do have the therapy sessions and all of it on a weekly basis,
Yeah,
I get a fill someone in face to face. I know someone just listened to what the hell I said because I watched you just listen. That's kind of rewarding for me in a way, but I am grateful though because of what happened last week. I know for a fact that motherfuckers are listening to this podcast now. Thank you, Scott Snyder.
Thank you, Scott Snyder.
It's been a goddamn podcast, man. You guys know where to listen. There will be YouTube. If you guys are new, go to YouTube and find this channel. Subscribe on that if you want the video version of the podcast and other videos I do. Support on Patreon, all of that other shit. It's been a podcast, fuckers. You guys read responsibly. Thank you so much, Zack, for joining me.
Cheers,
man.
Subscribe to IAreZack.
Oh, yeah, and go to IAreZack, yes. Fucking Sadass, that's for sure, man. Sadass number 4 did just release. I do got to give you a plug. You came all the way out here. Thank you so much, man. I do appreciate it. I really did enjoy the shit out of it. I haven't even had the chance to talk to you about that. We're going to talk about that right now. Bye.